This is the most deceptive, disingenuous video you're going to see for a long time. It's all about black victimization and why cops are always picking on black people for no reason whatsoever. Why cops are always killing black people for no reason whatsoever. You would never know it from watch what you're about to see, but when a black person walks out of his house in Philadelphia, his major danger to his life is not from a cop or a white person. It's from one of his fellas. It's from a black person. Oh yeah, when a white person walks out of their house in Philadelphia, the major danger to his life is not from a white person or a cop. It's from a black person. When a white cop is driving around the streets of Philadelphia, the major danger to his life is not from a white person, an Amish person, a gay person, a young person, an Asian person. The major danger to his life is from a black person. And now ABC National News wants to tell us that black people are really the victims of white racism, and cops and white people are always picking on black people all the time for no reason whatsoever. Wow, this is breathtaking in its mendacity.
In recent times, it has been an unrelenting stream of stories.
Growing outrage over the deadly police shootings of two black men.
Police officer charged with opening fire and killing an unarmed former college football player.
Cell phone video seen around the world.
Black men, often unarmed, shot dead by police. It has drawn renewed attention to what has long been called the talk.
Here's an opportunity for you to engage, ask questions, ask the uncomfortable questions.
The need for a meaningful national discussion has inspired workshops like this one run by Noble, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement.
I'm concerned about the person losing their life because a cop said, I was afraid.
The goal? To have that conversation by allowing families to talk directly to law enforcement.
This can't be the norm. We have some major issues that are not being touched right now.
It's a centuries-old conversation, how one must navigate an often complicated color-conscious nation when you are black. Complicated, but sometimes funny, like tonight on ABC's Blackish.
Now, my mom would have the talk with me all the time.
America hates you.
For 19-year-old Winston Harris, this is more than a TV episode. It is his life. He watched horrified as this Facebook Live video of Philando Castile being shot and killed by a Minnesota police officer.
Please don't tell me this, Lord. Please, Jesus, don't tell me that he's gone.
In Philando's face, Winston sees his own.
As each shot rang out, I could feel it. Not like actually, but like I could feel it. Like each time, like bang, 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 like I could just feel it.
Crosstown, his feelings echoed by another teenager, 16-year-old Iche Fersner.
It hurts because my life just seems like it's nothing in the United States.
Turning to the modern teenager's diary, Facebook, Iche penned a grief-stricken post.
We can't even go outside without having to be scared for our lives.
Both live in middle-class neighborhoods, the American dream palpable, tempered by this fact. Their sons still live in a country where too often they will be judged by the color of their skin and not the content of their character.
What do I think of when raising a black child in America? At times, it could be frightening.
Like so many other black parents, Pat's made an effort to shield her son, private, diverse schools. But her best efforts don't make her son immune to reality.
Honestly, I'm a little scared. You know, it is unsettling.
Unsettling for Iche as well.
I am only 15 years old, and I fear that I'm possibly going to die before I even turn 18.
What do you think of some of the unique burdens of being a parent to a black child, particularly a black boy,
Safety. Like, I always have to worry about his safety. I believe he's prejudged before people actually get to know him, because that's just how it's been programmed in society.
Well, I know there's this view that somehow that this is just a kind of paranoia.
But clinician Dr. Kenneth Hardy says it's not some made-up idea.
The pain and suffering of African Americans historically have not really engendered broad, sweeping empathy, because I think that what racism has done is that it has stripped African American people from being beings to being things.
He says it's actual trauma, particularly stemming from the lives lost, captured on video. Philando Castile, a 32-year-old in Minnesota,
Stay with me.
killed while in the car with his girlfriend and daughter. There was Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, but also too many others, faces who may not have made the news. In these cases, many of the officers who killed them went free without a conviction.
It's just like, well, I mean, who's next?
EJ's father, Michael, knows there's but so much he can control.
You're powerless. You feel like you cannot do anything about it.
For EJ to feel like his life isn't valued, that's your fault, America. That's your fault. It pisses me off.
Conversations many black families believe they must have that others don't, something she recalls discussing with a coworker.
The topic of, do you teach your kids how to talk to cops? The other manager, who was white, said, no, why would I have to talk to my kids about that? And I was like, exactly, why should I have to talk to my sons about that? The double standard in the United States sickens me. It really does.
Well, I wish that you knew how it felt to feel like your child is an endangered species, literally.
Mike isn't alone.
Noble has been inundated with a number of requests for this program.
Both the Young family and the Harrises heard about the one event happening in Philly, a workshop hosted by black police officers.
We've done it somewhere in the thousands, I believe, somewhere around 2,000 times, just within the last few years.
Can we do a scenario, please?
Law enforcement attempting to tackle these questions through interactive demonstrations. They set up a routine traffic stop.
Ma'am, can you roll down your window?
You don't have to talk to him.
Excuse me, sir, I'm talking to the driver.
But for many, the scenario felt sterile, not touching on the issues they came to debate.
That was a great little scenario, but I'm not concerned about my kids being stopped. I'm concerned about the person losing their life because a cop said, I was afraid. If someone can drive away without losing their lives, that's a good thing. That can't be the narrative. This can't be the norm. We have some major issues that are not being touched right now.
You talking about issues that I look just like you. I'm a mother. I've been a police officer for 27 years. If you want something to be changed, then be a part of it.
You said even people who carry the badge, when they get pulled over, you get nervous. That's not an individual issue, and that's a systemic issue. This is embroiling black communities all over the country.
There's still so much left unsaid, but the workshop perhaps a small step towards understanding.
I don't want to be one of this and then not do anything. I don't like people that do that. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to be about it.
You know, I just gained more understanding of, being a cop.
Just one of the lessons Winston is taking with him in his new chapter as a freshman at Temple University.
I remember when I was his age and going off to college, my mom and I would have lots of conversations about staying alive.
Going through high school and middle school, never had that conversation with him. It's not until he entered college and hearing all the reports, knowing the type of environment he was coming into, which he wasn't used to. He's just not like a street person. So the conversation shifted, preparing him to come to college.
Worried that a cop might look past his boyish face and see not his promise, but him as a problem.
I don't think it's what you're wearing on the outside. If they just look wrong, they'll stop them. Why do you have to even stop them to ask them a question like, where are you going?
You ever been stopped by the police?
No. I hope I never get stopped either.
Still, Winston eager to step out on his own and be a man.
You dating yet on campus?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I used to tell him I'm your girlfriend till you're 35.
Right? I know that's right.
While back in North Philly, EJ just wants the opportunity to be a kid.
I should be thinking about if I'm going to go to this party. I shouldn't be thinking about if a cop can shoot me in the head.
When I was your age, I thought a lot about dying, as a young black man, and was obsessed by that notion.
I try to stay positive, but what's going to happen tomorrow?
The questions and the burdens of men far older than him.
I want to stay alive so that I can be here for them.
This is not a new conversation in America, but rarely in our rich and sometimes rocky history has it felt more urgent. For Nightline, I'm Byron Pitts in Philadelphia.
Just this morning, there was a story in the Philadelphia papers, Philadelphia media, about Amber Long. Yeah, she was the white girl that was walking down the streets of Philadelphia with her mom. She was kind of a small-town girl, went to school in Philly. So maybe she thought she knew the town a little better than she did. She and her mom would to a show or a museum and we're walking down the street and we saw what happened to Amber Long, we've seen 100 times since then. Group of black people driving by in a car, they screech to a stop, get out, kill her. Rob the mom, rob Amber, kill Amber. Still haven't found the people. We're pretty sure it wasn't cops. And what about that older white guy who used to take his dog out for a walk every day? Most of the times his daughter would go with him. This day she did not. This day he was out walking his dog and a bunch of fellas, a bunch of black people came up to him with a gun. As opposed to the greatest lie of our generation, the story of Michael Brown, St. Michael of Ferguson, this guy actually had his hands up. He was actually saying, don't shoot. These black people shot him dead.
Followed developments this morning in the murder of an Overbrook man. 51-year-old James Stolman was shot and killed last week while walking his dog. Police have been questioning several people in his death. NBC 10's Monique Braxton is live for us at police headquarters with an update on the search for the killer. Monique, what can you tell us?
Hey, Vi, solving this high-profile murder case is a top priority of detectives who have spent the last 2 days now working around the clock here on the 3rd floor at police headquarters, as well as near the crime scene. New information we uncovered this morning. This investigation into the death of 51-year-old James Stolman took crime scene techs to this neighborhood at 65th and Girard. Sources also tell us several guns were taken from a home. Also overnight, a handful of people were questioned by detectives. Sources also tell us a teen as young as 14 is among those questioned in connection with Stolman's murder. Now, he was walking his dog 1 week ago when shot in the chest in what police believe was a robbery attempt in Overbrook. Commissioner Ramsey updated us on developments overnight.
We're in a very critical part of the investigation. We are making good progress in the investigation with that very tragic homicide that took place last week.
Stolman's dog, Molly, his flashlight, a wallet, and cell phone were all found at the scene. They don't believe the murderers got away with anything. Right now, there is a $20,000 reward for information leading to the arrest, as well as the killer of this 51-year-old resident of Overbrook. And we should also tell you that we will be following the investigation. Any developments whatsoever in this case, you can count on NBC 10 to have it for you. Live outside police.
How many other stories do you want around here about black criminality so wildly out of proportion? How many? How many? That's how many there are. That's what this channel is about. You want to go video to video of a cop killing an unarmed, innocent black person? Okay, great. Let's do it. You'll be smothered. You'll be astonished. You'll be smothered in the amount of black criminality directed at cops and directed at white people compared to the other way around. And anybody who does not know that, they are in denial, deceit, and delusion to a point where they are clinically insane. I mean, talking clinically, mental hospital quality insane. They are a danger to themselves and to other people. In this case, this ridiculous level of black on white hostility is what is driving that story. It's what's driving those parents. Oh, you gotta watch out for white people. They're everywhere. They're gonna shoot you in the head. Oh, they shoot me in the head. Oh, no. You don't have to worry about the cops, my man. When you go to Temple University, you don't have to worry about the cops. When you go to Temple University, you better be damn well aware of the fellas and their lovely ladies who live near Temple University are targeting you, whether you're black or white, whatever. If they think you have something they want, if they think your school is giving you a free iPad or a free computer, they want it, they're going to take it. Do you really think you're going to have to worry about white people at that school? No, it's just the opposite. We saw that story last year where hundreds of black people were rampaging through the Temple University and off campus where they beat the piss out of a bunch of white kids, sending 6 to the hospital. 2 days later, a columnist for the Inquirer, all kind of disgusted, said, hey, why is everybody making this story about race? It was just a coincidence that all those black people gathered in one spot in a black neighborhood and beat the hell out of those white people. That's a coincidence. Oh, yeah, and it's a coincidence that it happens over and over and over and over and over again. We just did a story on SEPTA. Not even sure if I posted it yet. If I haven't posted it yet, I'll post it next. The Philly subway. We see a picture of an exasperated chief of police of the subway system. He's looking into the camera. The black reporter had just asked him, hey, is this an isolated thing? He said, no, it's not isolated. It happens every damn day. Every day. Black criminality and violence on the subway. It's turned that subway into a living hell. Okay? And now ABC News is going to pick up the party line of the new district attorney of Philadelphia, the mayor of Philadelphia. The black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. That's why we need the talk. We get this talk. Your talk is part of the greatest lie of this generation. The greatest hoax of our lifetime. The hoax of black victimization. You know it. To quote President Obama at the funeral of those 5 cops in Dallas, you know it. You know that to you, white people are nothing but soft targets. The talk. You know the cops are in danger from black people, not the other way around. They're in danger from hostility, from threats, from harassment. They're mostly in danger from this new attitude that criminality is the new black entitlement. And you're going to cry your little crocodile tears about fantasies of white people hurting black people when it's the other way around. By a factor of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You're pathetic. But I guess being pathetic is one way not to make the black kids angry.